Hi dear students, welcome back to the online class of class 9th Democratic Politics chapter 4 Working of Institutions. In our last class we completed electoral politics and today we are starting Working of Institutions. In democracy the rulers have to follow some rules and procedures. All our MLAs, MPs, they have to work with and within many institutions. In this chapter, we are going to learn all such big institutions of democracy. We will also understand how the major decisions are taken and implemented by these institutions. Mainly, we study about legislature, executive and judiciary. We will learn what does these institutions do, how are these institutions connected to other institutions, whether these institutions are working democratically or not. All these factors will be discussed in this chapter called Working of Institutions. Dear students, before going to learn the functions of these democratic institutions, let us understand how is a major policy decision taken in democracy. Remember, every day the state government, central government take a lot of policies, decisions. How are these decisions taken? Only Prime Minister or only a governor or only president involved in it? Let us discuss the government order of August 13, 1990. Order means, is a decision issued by government. Every day government issue a lot of order, but this order of August 13, 1990 is very important. Its name was Office Memorandum. It was dated in August 13, 1990 and it had a number as usual and it was signed by an officer. It looked like an ordinary circular, but it was very important and became a source of controversy for several years. Let us see how the decision was taken and what happened later. Actually, this order said that 27% of the vacancies in civil posts and services under the government of India are reserved for the socially and educationally backward classes. Understand what was the content of the Office Memorandum order issued by Indian government. It said that 27% of the government jobs in India are reserved for the socially and educationally backward classes or SCBC category. Remember that earlier we had reservation for SC and ST. But now a new third category called SCBC was introduced. It is said that only the persons who belong to these backward classes were eligible for this quota of 27% jobs. Other people could not compete for these jobs. Can you just imagine who decided to issue this memorandum? No doubt such a big decision could not have been taken by the person who signed on it or the officer who signed on it, or is it decided by the president who is one of the important and formal authority of the country, or is it decided by the prime minister who is the head of the government, or is it directly decided by the parliament consist of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? This office memorandum was the culmination of a long chain of events. Remember, this office memorandum, that decision, was the culmination, the mix of a long chain of events. Let us see what are the different process and procedures and chain of events included to produce this office memorandum circular. Remember, the government of India had appointed the Second Backward Classes Commission in 1979. Actually, this Second Backward Classes Commission was appointed to study about the condition of the backward communities. This commission was headed by B.P. Mandal. So, it is famously known as Mandal Commission. Actually, this commission was asked to determine the criteria to identify the socially and educationally backward classes. Remember, Mandal Commission was appointed in 1979 to determine or to decide the criteria or the system to identify the socially and educationally backward classes in India and recommend some steps to be taken for their advancement. So already we have SC/ST people. Other than these, which are the other minority people who required extra care? And just 1 year after, this Mandal Commission gave its report and made many recommendations to government. One of the recommendations was that 27% government jobs should be reserved for these socially and educationally backward class people. So government usually appoint many commission whenever there is an issue or about a topic, and the people who are expert in that particular topic, they study about it and they come to a conclusion and they submit the report to government, and it is the government or the ministry who wanted to decide whether to implement those recommendations or not. Actually, this Mandal Commission report was kept pending for a long time. You can tell around 10 years. Till 1989, this Mandal Commission report was not implemented in India. But it was in 1989, Janata Dal political party included its election manifesto that if Janata Dal come to power in the next election, it would implement the Mandal Commission report. So what happened? The Janata Dal came to power in the next election and its leader VP Singh became the Prime Minister. So what happened later? Soon after this, Janata Dal and VP Singh, the Prime Minister, decided to implement the Mandal Commission report. So see the procedures, what happened later. The President of India, in his address to the Parliament, announced that the recommendations of the Mandal Commission report is going to be implemented. Next, on 6th August 1990, the Union Cabinet took a formal decision to implement the recommendations. Next day, Prime Minister VP Singh informed the Parliament about this decision. And this decision of the Cabinet was sent to the Department of Personnel and Training. The senior officers of the department drafted an order in line with the Cabinet decision and sent it to Minister's approval. An officer signed the order and it was born on 13th August 1990. So this is a long procedure that took to produce or to issue this office memorandum. And what happened next? Next few months, this was the most hotly debated issue in the country. Newspapers, magazine, everywhere it was widely discussed, and there was widespread protest, fight and counter protest, some which were very violent all over the country. Because there are many reasons. Because job reservation 27% is reserved only for a group of people, and many other people were deprived of getting job. At the same time, some people felt that it is good to give job reservations because these backward communities may get enough representation in the government employment. But many others felt that this was unfair, as it would deny the equal opportunity of all those people who belong to other communities. So there was a fight between these two groups for cancelling this office memorandum. Many others fought for implementing this office memorandum. And there was a fight. So who resolved all these disputes? Supreme Court and High Courts of India have the power to settle the disputes over government decisions. So the Supreme Court of India benched all these cases together. There were hundreds of cases put for and against. So the Supreme Court took these all cases in a bunch and they named it as Indira Sani and others. Indira Sani and others versus Union of India cases. Because one side it is the government of India, because government of India has issued the order, and opposite side there were all others who have gave a petition against it. Actually, 11 judges of the Supreme Court heard the arguments of both the sides, and by a majority the Supreme Court judges in 1992 declared that this order of the government of India was valid. At the same time, the Supreme Court asked the government to modify a rule in this order. So, according to that, the well-to-do persons, the rich persons who belong to backward classes should be excluded from getting the benefit of reservation. So that was an important suggestion made by Supreme Court to implement the Mandal Commission report. So it said that the rich persons among the SCBC community should be removed from the benefit of reservation. So actually, next, accordingly, the Department of Personnel and Training, they issued another office memorandum on September 1993, and the dispute thus came to an end, and this policy has been followed since then. Dear children, this is the long procedure that happened just before the issue of the office memorandum. So here we have just understood that how an important policy decision is taken in central government on state government. How many people, how many institutions, how many days and years include in that, and how many procedures and systems are followed. So it's a very important things. So dear children, through this example we are going to understand how the parliament, judiciary, executive and legislature is going to function in democracy as democratic institutions. Dear children, today we have discussed only the first part of this chapter. I hope you have understood the content. Please read the lesson of this particular part twice or thrice and understand all the rules of this office memorandum, how it was issued. And if you have any doubt regarding any of the topic, please contact me. Few assignment questions will be sent along with that. Solve it and send me back. Thank you.